I'm back. It's only been 10 months. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 9 months. 9 months. So that's not so bad. Anyway, I'm Nancy, and I am part of Nettle's Place. So I wanted to come back with you today and give you an update on things that have been going on. During the past year, just like everybody else, we were just hunkered down here at home and just did not do much of anything. We go out once in a while for dinner, run pick something up, and then as things started getting better, we would actually started going in and eating. But outside of that, we haven't really done much. So let's start with my calendar from last September, since that was the last thing we did. My brother and sister-in-law, Eddie and Sue Ellen, or John as he goes by now. He will never be John to me. He will always be Eddie. But they came for a visit last fall, which was really nice. By then we had been, since March, with virtually no outside contact except over a Zoom meeting. So it was really nice to see them in person, be able to have fun and share the laughs with them. Next, we got a new little boy, a little dog. And he's not mine. He is my son Eric's and his wife Jamie's. And he's a little Pomchi, which is a Pomeranian Chihuahua. And he's got the little deer head, but he has then the long legs. So he looks like a Chihuahua with long legs. He's really, really cute. He was born in October of last year, and they got him in November. So he was just tiny, tiny little thing. I think he was maybe this big when they brought him home. He was just so stinking cute. And the personality, I cannot believe the personality this little dog has. He was supposed to be Jamie's dog, and honestly, I think he's Eric's. So it's really fun to see the interaction of him and everybody. We had a really, really nice Christmas. Again, it was just us here, and it was kind of quiet, but it was good. We all had fun and connected together and really enjoyed each other. In March of this year, March 19th and 21st, we had our Needles and Floss annual retreat. We stayed up at the Barn Bed and Breakfast in Valley Falls, Kansas. Had a fabulous time. There were about 22 of us there, and just stitched and enjoyed ourselves. The ladies chatting and talking, and just a really good, relaxing weekend. Was much needed. And let's see, May 1st, I had a pedicure. Oh my God, it was the first one I'd had in probably 10 years, and it was so lovely. Yeah. I got it just in time to go down to Texas and visit Eddie and Sue Ellen. I went down there May 4th through the 8th, and we had a really good time. We just had fun together. But it was kind of funny because everything we tried to do was sort of a bust. We drove up to Rockport, up, over, down. I don't know which way we went, but we drove to Rockport, and we had hoped to do some shopping. Sue Ellen wanted me to go to a seafood place because, they would have really fresh seafood there, and it would be really, really good. So I was excited about that, because I live in the middle of the country, and we get flown in. And even though it's excellent, it never is quite as good as when it is on the coasts. So we got there, and the place we wanted to go to was closed. It was only open in the evening, so we couldn't We couldn't go to it. And we asked somebody who we thought was a local, what's a good place that we can go to? And so he gave us the name of this place, and I don't even remember what it was called now, but we drove over to it, and I tell you, it looked fabulous from the outside. It looked well kept up. It was a great big place. Looked really, really like it was going to be fabulous. So we walk inside, and it's real dark, you know, and people aren't very friendly, and we get to our table, which was kind of just stuck in a corner. I mean, literally pushed. They were all jammed up tight. You couldn't hardly get around in it. And ordered our food. Everything they had was pretty much deep fried. Nothing fresh. And we soon discovered that it was all pretty much frozen. It was not good at all, and I really hated that we were paying the price we were for that food. But, you know, that's what we had to do. So then we went after that and tried to go shopping around the town because it was a real artist community, and we were really excited to see some of the new things that they might have, you know. Everything was closed because it's also a weekend town. So we did not have much luck there at all. But still, you know, we had a lot of good conversation, a lot of good time together. And for me, it was a much needed time away from home and work. Let's see, last thing I have on here is May 8th. We had 4 baby groundhogs, and they were living up underneath my front porch. So you would go to pull out of the drive, and they'd be laying off, sunning themselves out on my front walk, or they'd climbed up a couple steps, and they'd be laying on the steps there just sunning. They were just the cutest little things you have ever seen, just big balls of fur. And they were there for quite a little while, but then suddenly they were gone. We didn't have the groundhogs anymore. We have no idea where they went to. So our hope is that their mama came and took them out into the woods, and they're living out there now. That's just what I'm going to keep thinking. So next up, book reviews. And I have read 14 books since I last spoke to you. The first one, and I'm starting with the first one in September and coming forward to what I had just recently read. The first one was called Those Girls by Chevy Stevens. I give this one 5 stars. 5 stars is the best. This is about the 3 Campbell sisters, and it's a thriller. They had a very domineering father who was just drunk as the day is long. They never could figure out what happened to their mother. You know, did she die? Did she run away? Was she killed? They really didn't know. She was, you know, just out of the picture. Well, their dad was notorious for beating them, and one day he came home and started beating them, and the girls killed him. So because of that, they ran. They left their home and ran, and they had to stop. Their car broke down. Some of the townies, a couple guys picked them up. They kidnapped them. They tortured them, you know, and it was just a horrible experience that these poor girls went through, these poor sisters. So then they finally get away from them, and life is being really good, and they're, you know, everything is going along just fine. It's 18 years later, and one of those sisters goes missing. So that story is really interesting. I think you'd like it. The next one I read was a psychological thriller. It's called The Silent Patient, and it's by Alex Michaelides, Michaelides. I gave this one 4 stars. And it's about a woman named Alicia who seems to have the perfect life. Just perfect. You know, the big house, the famous husband who's a photographer. She's a famous painter. You know, and everything is just going wonderful for them. But one night he comes home late and she shoots him 5 times. Never speaks again. So this is all then about her time when she was committed to the psych ward, and the doctor, the psychotherapist, who tries to unravel what happened and why. So it's really, really interesting, the things that they get into and the twists and turns that they have. So that's another one I think you'd like. Then I read The Rumor. It's by Erin Holdebrandt. I gave that 3 stars. It was a fun story. It was set in Nantucket. It was all about the clans that they have there, you know. This group likes this and this group like this and blah, blah, blah. And one summer, all these rumors start flying, and everybody keeps misunderstanding what is being said and who did what and why they did what, and the gossip just escalates and escalates and still until all of a sudden lives are being torn apart. And you know, they have to work through how did this happen and what really happened, and you know, are people just talking or is this truth? And so it was kind of a fun movie, but I think you know, if you want something just as a fun quick read, that would be a fun one. Then I read The Storykeeper by Lisa Wingate. This is one I definitely gave 5 stars to. It's a true story, based on a true story. And it's about a successful New York editor who discovers a manuscript in what they call the slush pile. And that's where the stories that people send in to have published goes to die. They lay in that pile, and maybe once in a while they'll go through and pull something out that might interest them at the time. But this story was about a young Appalachia girl at the turn of the 20th century. And the editor, I don't have her name here, but she takes on the challenge of finding the author of this manuscript and trying to find the missing pages that she does not have on the girl. The search that she goes through and the results that she finds change her life forever. And it is just a fabulous story. I know you would like that one. Next one I read was Little Comfort. It's by Edwin Hill, and that was 5 stars. And it's about a Harvard librarian named Hester who has a side gig of locating lost people. She was hired to find Sam Blaine, but Sam doesn't want to be found. He fled the town when he was a teenager with his friend Gabe, and they never looked back. They became scam artists and started taking wealthy women for all they could get. Well, you know, as you would expect, Sam falls for Hester, and Gabe wants Hester out of the way. But the twist is, Sam has always done everything that Gabe has wanted. So is he going to kill Hester, or is he going to try to escape Gabe? That's what the whole story is. The next one is a young adult's book that I read. It's called Reverie by LaSala, and I gave it 3 stars. So it starts out, this young boy is found by the police having been in a horrible car wreck, and he doesn't know how he got to where he is, what happened with his car, you know, nothing. He doesn't understand anything that's going on around him. So as he starts to recuperate, he starts digging, you know, trying to figure out, why did this happen? What's going on? How did I get to that place, and what caused me to go there? Well, his whole world starts shifting off balance, and he doesn't know why it is. But as he tries to figure it out, bizarre things start happening, and there's another world coexisting right alongside his world that he has to try to maneuver to bring his life back in balance. So that was really fun. That was a fun book. I enjoyed it. The next one I read was Fates and Furies by Lauren Goff. I gave that 2 stars. I did not even review this book because I just didn't like it. The gist of it is 2 different perspectives on a marriage after a decade together. Which side is right, and can they stay together? You might try it. You might like it more than I did, but for me, that was just a no. The next one I have is just a fun read. It's called Freezer, I'll Shoot. It's by Victoria Hamilton, and I gave it 3 stars. It's a typical fun read. Jamie is trying to escape her overbearing mother. None of us mothers are overbearing. I don't know why they set it up like this. So to do that, she retreats to the country to write articles about a local ice house restaurant. One night she's there and she overhears an argument. Next thing we know, someone shows up dead. Next thing we know, all these people are being falsely accused. And Jamie, as a, not a professional, amateur, there's my word, as an amateur sleuth, she has to try to figure it out before the police does. That's a fun one though, so if you just, again, want another fun, quick read, that's a cute one you'd like. Now this next one, I really enjoyed it. It's based on a true story. It's called The Indigo Girl by Natasha Boyd. I gave it 5 stars. It is based in 1739, and it's about a 16-year-old girl named Eliza. Her father has to go to war, and she is given sole custody of 3 family plantations while he's gone. Now they are cotton plantations, and as you know, the cotton production started waning, and she was losing money. She didn't know what to do, and on a not a whim, but on a very strong hunch, she decided to invest in indigo. So this is all about what happened with her, this young 16-year-old girl, trying to live in a man's world and operate and function as the owner of these plantations. It was excellent, and I really recommend that one. Next one I read is by one of my favorite authors, Anne Perry. It's Death on Blackheath. And I love all her books. There's a lot of intricacies in them that, you think you know where the story's going, and then suddenly it twists. So I give this one a 5 stars. And this story is all about women who are turning up dead and mutilated all over London. It involves a lot of national spies and local antagonists. It's in Victorian Britain, and of course, our people always get their man, but it's how they get there that makes the story fun. I think you'd like it also. Next one I read is One Tequila by Tricia O'Malley. I gave it 4 stars. This is the one about Althea Rose, who comes to Tequila Key for relaxation. And as it turns out, she starts running the Luna Rose Potions and Tarot shop. Well, her best friend is accused of murder, and she has to figure out how to help her get out of jail without, any repercussions. She stumbles across a love triangle, and just all the trouble that this poor girl has is just hilarious. It's a fun read. Next one is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I gave it 5 stars. It was an excellent book. Excellent. It's a great mystery, and our gal is named Jane, and she's a dog walker in a gated community. Jane doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together, but she has somehow worked her way into this community with all of the upper class wives allowing her to walk their dogs for her. So as she does this, she meets a man named Eddie, who is a recent widow, and she falls in love with him, and he falls in love with her. But as she looks forward to this fairy tale life with him, she starts wondering, what happened to his wife Bee? Soon we find out. So that's a fun, not a fun one, but an excellent mystery that I think you would like. I then read A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. I gave that one 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. It was all about 4 women, and we learn about their lives and their loves and their dreams and all the men involved all the way through their lives. This story spanned decades, and when it ended, I wanted to read the next book. I don't even know if there is a next book, but I want to read it. So it's very intriguing, and I think you might like that one. The last book I read is The Little Shop of Found Things by Paula Brackston. I gave it 4 stars. This book had a little bit of everything for me in it. It had antiques, time travel, love, romance. It was just filled with descriptions of those antiques that I could just see them. That was perfect. So it's all about Xanthi and her mother, who leave London for a fresh start, and they end up taking over an antique shop in Marlborough. Well, Xanthi has, ever since she was a child, had this ability to pick something up and be able to tell you all about the previous owners of that object. Well, they have gone to this antique sale, and she actually hears a chatelaine calling to her. And when she finally touched that chatelaine, her life is turned completely upside down, and she is on a mission to figure out what happened with this chatelaine, who was involved, and how to get it back, change history and get things back in their proper order. It was a really good book, and I really enjoyed it. So in 2020, I challenged, my book challenge was 12 books. I read 28. In 2021, I thought, well, I read 28 last year. I might as well tack some more on and see if I can do better. So I decided that I would challenge 35 books. So far, I have read 7. I'm 6 books behind schedule. So I've got some makeup to do here. So that's not too good. Not too good. So next, projects. I have done a little stitching, but not a whole lot. When I went to the retreat, I worked on Cinnamon Stars. So I can get this out here, which is if you can see this one. And I just think it's the cutest thing. I love the movement and the flow in this. It's, of course, by Plum Street. And then here is where I am at on it. So I got the whole fence row in and one side of the house. There are 3 sections to the house. So I'm happy with that one. I think it looks good. I like it. Then the other project I worked on was my 2Bs and ABCs. I've been working on this one for quite a while. Let me get this, my working copy here flipped out so you can see what it's supposed to look like. This one. So it's a really cool sampler. I really like all of the different sections in it. Well, I worked on it and I must have been talking too much. Imagine that. This is where I am. Well, I can actually fold it in half. Just about half here. There we go. So I've got the bottom in. That beautiful flower. Kind of reminds me of an Art Deco flower, but I like the borders she puts between these two. And let me take my thread out so you know, not in your way. And I got my numbers in. Now on the design, these numbers are all straight. When I look at them and did them, do they look like they're straight? No. I don't know what happened. But you know, that's me, so I'm just gonna leave them like they are. Then I started up here in this big thistle, and I am off like 4 stitches. So I'm gonna have to take out almost all of this section here. And honestly, I just have not brought myself to do that yet. I just kind of laid it aside, and I thought, you know, I'll pull it out and I'll work on it eventually, but for right now, no, I can't spend that time on there. I just can't do it. And then I wanted to show you. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot to pick these up. I have made some tarot rolls. So these are pockets, bags that you place your cards in here, and then you fold them and tie a ribbon around them. And then you've got them all protected in here. These are padded, all of them, so you can also lay your cards out here to read them. These can also be used as jewelry bags, or you know, to put stones in, or whatever you want in this little pocket. Fold them up and carry them then when you travel. So I just thought I'd show you these real quick. I've got this one with the turquoise. These I call, that one was called Dragon Scales. This one I call Mystical Creatures. Those guys are upside down, aren't they? There we go. And then they are orange inside. I don't have a ribbon on them yet. I didn't have something at home here that I really like, so I've got to get that. This one is called Wings. Aren't those beautiful butterfly wings? With teal satin in here. Then I've got Tools of the Trade with silver. I think that one's kind of cool. Then this one is Skulls. I have to get up there close so you can see those skulls with black velour. This one is Night Creatures. I really like those moths with red satin. Then I've got Messengers. It's all these crows with teal satin again, or satin, velour. This is one that I have. It's Feathers. I just love this fabric with teal satin. And this one is night lights. All the little lightning bugs. I couldn't think of the word. And it's got a sparkly yellow ribbon with it and yellow satin. And then the last one I have, I call potions. All the different potion bottles with silver satin inside and a black ribbon. So those are just some things I've been working on and finished up. Some other things I did was I finished up my TV trays, and I'll have Eric insert another video here that shows you my projects that I finished. I finished wallpapering my dining room. I painted my kitchen, the kitchen walls, and I wallpapered the big main wall in my kitchen. What I have left in there is to go in and paint the kitchen cabinets so that they all coordinate and tie together, because I think the lady that lived here before me was in process of replacing cabinets, and I have one bank of white and then another bank of brown wood with one white cabinet right in the middle. So you know, I want to make them all cohesive so they look like they go together. What I have coming up then is I have 2 benches in my bedroom that I want to recover, and I've got some fabric here I wanted to show you. I was looking at this. This is my French bees, which I tell you, I am just in love with this fabric. I've got about a yard of it, and I've had it for ages. I just don't know what I want to do with it, and honestly, it has to be the perfect thing, because it will kill me if I cut it and then I don't like what I do with it. So I have that, but then I really think I'm going to use this fabric, and it's a big, huge piece, but I think I'm going to use this. And I'm going to recover those benches in this, because this will go with my winter design and my summer design, because my bedroom is all in blue and cream. So I think that'll work well on there. I also, if I can, I have a beautiful chair, antique chair that Eric bought for me, that if I can, I'll take a picture of it and see if he will add it in here too. It's got a beautiful back on it, all inlaid, but the seat needs to be completely redone. It needs to be broken apart and then, you know, re-glued and clamped back together. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Then what you'll see here, what Eric inserts, is I'm going to show you my front garden, my front flower bed. Pardon me. In April, I'll have Eric add in all of the completed projects that I did. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take a short video of the garden in June now and let you see that, the big difference there, the upgrowth. It's just beautiful to me, so I think you'll enjoy it. And really, that's all I have for now. So I will see you. I hope to have it more often than I did this last time, but I can't promise. So until next time, brightest blessings. I thought I'd take a quick break and come out here and see how my garden had fared after the last 2 nights of freezing weather. So if we get down here, my columbine has a bloom on it. If you look past the leaves and the rock, I haven't mulched real well yet. But you can see there's a bunch of hostas there. And this columbine has buds all over it. Look at my primrose, how glorious that is. And then my hellebores here, the 3 big ones. And then another little primrose. Look, this one got kind of hit. You can see the edges are kind of frozen off on it. And then this is a little thrift. Yeah. So it came back from last year. And back here in the corner, I have a new plant. Oh, darn it. I forget what that... Solomon seal is what that is. Then Jamie wanted me to come out and look at this. How beautiful is that bleeding heart this year? It really likes this spot. Isn't that pretty? Then I've got, I don't know if you can see it on here, but I have a heuchera. There's my anemone. I have some allium coming up here. Here's another primrose that looks pretty good. Here's my 3-in-1 tricolor heuchera. That looks like an astilbe, but I don't remember planting an astilbe, so it'll be fun to see what the flower is once it comes up. And then here's my brunera. It has really come out, and you can see it's got the little buds on it. Aren't they pretty? Then there's another heuchera. My hardy ferns are just starting to come out back there. You can see little leaves on both of them. Where'd the other one go? There it is. And look at my lambs there. They are looking gorgeous. Gorgeous. Then here I have, I think those are orchid lilies. The long stringy grassy ones. I think that's what those were called. And then this is my hosta that's coming up here. Look how pretty that is. Color is fantastic. Down here, I don't know if you can see, there's my moonbeam threadleaf coreopsis. I have a mystery plant here. I don't remember what that is. I'm wondering if it's part of this angelonia that came up that I planted last year. And then there's my black-eyed Susan. I planted a bunch of tulips last year. Here's my tulips. That's all that's come up in this bed. I've got some, my liatris is poking through the ground there. Can you see? And then here are some more alliums that have come up. So overall, I think it's looking pretty. I can't wait for it to get all in full bloom. Just thought I would share. Thanks. Bye. Okay, I hadn't given you an update on my dining room, so I thought I'd do that today. You see KJ laying back there in the back. To start with, I got all my wallpaper done, which I think just turned out beautiful. I love how it goes with that cabinet. And then I just happen to have those drapes in the other room. And then here's over to my china cabinet and down. So everything is all put together. That's a piece that the kids gave me for Christmas. Isn't that pretty? And you'll notice in the china cabinet, I actually went in and lined it with anacalyptical wallpaper because it was so dark you couldn't see anything that was in there, and I think that just really set it off and let it shine. Also in here, this is how I did Eric's painting that he did. I was out, don't want to move this too much, but I was at Walmart and, not Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and I couldn't find a frame for it because it's an odd size. So I found this tray, and I put it in that tray and then lined it. Let's see if I can get up here and you can see that. It's jute twine that has little leaves all the way around, which I thought really brought that picture out just really beautifully. So I was very pleased with that, and I've got it on a little hook there in my window so I can see it all the time now. And down below here, I decided to pull out all of my teapots. And these are ones I know every single one was given to me, and they all have a story, so very special to me. Then over on there, Sunny wants to make an appearance. Hi, Sunny. Yes, there's my baby. Then over on this side, there's a tea set that was given to me. This little green one was my mom's. It's a single server. And then that one was actually found up in the top cabinet of one of my old houses. So that antique mirror, I think is just fabulous. I just fell in love with it when I saw it. There's my mom's cuckoo clock and my etagere with all my stuff on it. Whoop, look, I need to empty the trash recycle there. Then over here, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but there's my TV trays that I finished all up, and they're all done with the polyurethane finish on them, and I've used them like crazy, so those are absolutely the way to go. Anyway, I wanted to share. There's my light. Isn't that gorgeous? Lady before me left that, and I was so thrilled. So, okay, and I thought I'd show you my kitchen. So, we start in here. I've got all the walls painted, the blue, all the way around. I'm moving way too fast for you, aren't I? So I've painted it all the way around the room and up on top. So then we come over, and here is a rooster I've had forever, and then I got that bowl as a Christmas present one year, and I plopped her in there to carry her across the room, and I decided, you know what, that looks cute in there, so I got some Excelsior and put it in, and I got that tin behind her this last year, and I really like it. Come across, there's my new cutting boards that I got for Christmas, my bamboo, my Paris trivet. That's my brother's, a cast of his hand when he was, I think 10 maybe. So that brother died, and I've had that ever since. I've had it forever. And then that is his baby cup sitting there too. His name was Marvin Allen. There's my, you know what that is, my air fryer. And then up above here, I decided to try to do a few vignettes. I know they're kind of big and they're kind of spread out, but I like them. I like them real well. And look, I have to show you this. Nobody really knows Family Circus anymore, but my mom got this for me. She wrote in to the newspaper and got it. And it says, if you want them to grow, you have to say a prayer to your gardening angel. I just thought that was so cute. So then we come on around here, and there's my big rooster up there on top. Love him. I found him one year at Macy's. Gosh, it's been probably 25 years or more, and I carried him all around the store. He was so heavy. But then that's a little vignette that I did. Got some paint there waiting to use. And then I got all this wallpaper done. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, there's some antique cups and saucers. That's my swan from my mother-in-law, Daisy May. And some of my granny's salt and pepper shakers. There's a couple more up here, too. Most things that I have are gifts from others, but they do well. Look, I like that. A home without a cat is just a house. And for me, it is. There's my big chair that I love. I haven't put it outside yet. Oh, there's KJ underneath. Look out to my backyard. I'm going to put something up there because I just think it's blank and I don't know what I want to do yet. But then there's another vignette. Come down, you can see my countertop. There's my Spanish lavender. I put up this new, or had Eric put up this new light, and then I put the window curtains on, which I think are real cute. And then on around to this side. So we are still going to paint all the cabinets. Oh, and I wanted to show you what I'm walking on. This is my rug. I love this rug. I had this one over here and decided we needed something here too, so I bought a big square one to cover in front of the stove and the sink. So that's my kitchen. We are going to paint all of the cabinets so that they're cohesive, because I've got part brown, part white, and they're not in any sort of logical arrangement to me. So I am going to paint them, and I haven't quite decided yet. I'm thinking of kind of a deep teal blue. So anyway, that'll be another update. Thank you guys. Okay, here is my garden in June. So we'll start with the pots that I've set up. So I have this one. I don't know what all the plants are. I've lost names of them, but I think they're all just really pretty together. And the sun is so bright right now, it's hard to see what I've got. In this pot, I've also got down the center, I don't know that you can see it, but I've got an elephant ear and some coleus bulbs that I had pulled last year, and I'm hoping that they will come out. Even if they don't, that coleus is gorgeous. This one I think is my favorite pot. The petunias and the salvia and the sweet potato vine are just beautiful. And then my little swan with my snapdragons. Love them. And here, look at these. Isn't that geranium beautiful? And I've got some little petunias up in front there. And then some dianthus. And then here is a pot with caladiums, coleus, and then those are some pansies that survived, so I've got those. And over here on my shelf, I've got my big spider plant that seems to be doing well. And check this baby out. She's beautiful. Look at that. Just love her between my chairs here. Okay, now I'm going to try to walk down the steps and hope I don't fall while I'm doing this. So bear with me a minute. Ta-da! I made it. Okay, we're starting this again because I forgot to hit start this time. Oh. This is a gazing ball from my brother Chuck. It was from his garden, and I really cherish it. It's really pretty. Then I have another one of his that he always thought looked like a soap bubble. So I thought that was really pretty. And please forgive me for my garden having all the weeds in it. It's been either 90 degrees or raining. So we're 90 today, and it's going to rain this afternoon. I guess I'll just have to brave it sometime and come out here and weed, but right now I just don't have it in me. This is my columbine. It's my red columbine. And I just noticed there is a little flower there. So that's what color she is. It's on her last leg, but they're so beautiful when they're in full bloom. And then here I have 3 or 4 hostas that the lady before me left, and they're coming up just beautifully. I love all of them. And right here, this is my purple columbine. Let me go over a flower so you can, isn't she pretty? Look at that. Love that color. And then down below her is a primrose that has flowered out. It's done flowering, but the leaves are still going strong. And then here I've got 1, 2, 3 hellebores that they have already bloomed out, but still the leaves on those are very strong, looking very good. So I appreciate that in my garden. Back here is a plant that I get from my brother. It's a Solomon seal. I had a huge stand of it in my other house, and I'm hoping this will do the same once it gets established. I just love it. It's a beautiful plant. Right next to it is my bleeding heart, and she's already bloomed for the season and is just collecting energy right now before she dies off. But she's still looking pretty, so I'm not going to cut her down. I'm going to let her go. Right here in the middle of my hellebores is a black, I just lost the name, people. Calla lily. I really like that. That's another thing I tucked in for my brother Chuck because he liked the dark colors. But I really trying to get it to hold still. My hand is shaking now. I like the modeling on the leaves. I think that's really pretty. Well, let's see. Here's a little thrift. I planted last year. I didn't think she was going to come back up. She did, and she's got a bloom. So I'm excited about that. Then as we come on over, I'm going to pull you back down a little bit. It's a little big. There is deep purple heuchera. I think that's gorgeous. And the blooms on it are just going crazy. Love it. Right behind is my anemone, and it's doing really, really well. It should bloom this fall and will be a real pretty addition to the garden. Next to another green hosta, there's a couple of my Globe Master alliums that bloomed that they are setting seed now. So I'm just going to let them seed and go do their merry thing because, you know, I love them. Down here is a stand of coleus that looks like it is setting seed, trying to flower. So I'm going to have to snip those little flowers off to maybe make it, put some more growth in the leaves for us. Next door to that is another primrose, still doing very good. And then next to this is a tricolor heuchera. So see, it's got this bronze color in the back, then the chartreuse, and then the pale, pale green. It looks like, I don't know what that spot is on there, but it looks like it's got burned or something, so I'm going to have to watch that. Right behind it, I am so pleased with this. This is my foxglove. I just planted it out this year, and look at all the blooms. It is just beautiful. And a happy accident, I planted it right next to this astilbe that I didn't know that I planted, and they go together just beautifully, don't they? Then down here I have a silver mound artemisia that looks like it's budding up. I think those get little bitty tiny yellow flowers on them. Right back here is my brunera, and it's got a little bitty A couple little bitty blue flowers hooked over into that flower shaft there. Then I've got these two heucheras that are just blooming beautifully right now. Aren't they gorgeous? Down here in front, I've got two great big, I believe they're called Gertrude Jekyll lamb's ear. I just love them. They have doubled in size this year and are just fabulous. Here is a gazing ball that I purchased this year because the one I had got broken by my handy whip. Yeah. You know, accidents happen sometimes. Then back here, I've got two hardy fern, and they have really come up and doubled this year. So they're looking really pretty. Right next to the gazing ball is white hosta. I think that is so pretty. So pretty. And then look, here's another type of anemone that's come up. This one I thought they were ground lilies, but no, they're alliums that I planted. I'm so happy. And then somebody planted those weeds for me, which I'm very appreciative. Right here is my moonbeam coreopsis. It's always been one of my favorites for a long, long time. Down here, I've got a lupine that I just planted this year. And the big stalk is what came up originally. And I'm just leaving it to seed because I would love for it to fill in this spot next to it. I didn't think I'd have any more flowers, and lo and behold, look at that. I've got another stalk. Isn't it pretty? Then I come around the corner here, and I've got a question for you. I don't know what this plant is. It came up, it's this tall, and that's all the taller it's gotten since it came out. So if you know what it is, please let me know. I thought it was my Angelonia, but the tag for her is way over here. So I don't think that's what that is. So help on that would be great. I think these might be a couple little lily of the valley. I don't really know, but they didn't flower, so I couldn't identify them. Right behind here, look at this gorgeous stand of Liatris. That is just going to be blooming beautifully before too long, and I cannot wait. There's some more Globemaster. And then last but not least, here is my Shasta Daisy. Isn't she beautiful this year? So all in all, I think my garden looks really pretty. I'm really happy with it. I would be happier if I had it all weeded and mulched, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to worry about it. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope to see you again soon, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Okay, here I've asked Eric to drop in some pictures of Taz so you can see for yourself the cute little baby he was when they brought him home, and how adorable he is now that he's stolen our hearts. Enjoy!